Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lyds, and we're back for some more Thronebreaker, and last time we had a bit of a surprise appearance from a whole bunch of skeleton dudes, and it turns out, after completing the encounter, we have now, wrong page. We have now added a whole bunch of cards to our deck, which is more or less exactly what we were looking for, because it did feel like our deck was lagging behind a bit, and we were in need of getting some kind of boost, and so to add Patricide, Dogger, as well as a couple of bronzes with the Disgraced Brawler, and then somebody with a similar name, right? The Disgraced, wherever you are. Oh, here you are. You're not grayed out, because we've only used one of you, but Disgraced Warrior. So still some questions about how best to use these guys, but we have at least, for the moment, thrown them all in, or almost all of them in, just 1 out of 2 for the warriors there, but I am intrigued to see how they will fare in our deck, because we could use cards that can boost up our power level a little bit. Also, I think, I was curious to see, as I once again pressed the wrong button, like, I don't see the exclamation point over here, but Patricide is here. Arnholf, I'm probably going to refer to him as Patricide, but, does everyone? Oh yeah, they all have their own little sort of sigils next to their name. Patricide's, Arnholf's, looks very different. It's kind of interesting. And then do we...
Worked in a mess once that served no meat, not even sausage. Weren't long before the men rioted.
Okay, I have no idea who that dude is, nor do I know when he joined us. Similarly with you? Oh, that sounded like that might have been Barnabas, but I was trying to click on this woman behind him. Well, we're at it. Can we? Oh, he barks. Kinda, sorta. Okay, that's cool. Alright, can we actually speak to Patricide? Because he doesn't have anything over his name.
Find a place at one of the tables. Have a drink. Meet my men.
Think there's been a failure to communicate, lass.
Okay.
I didn't join your army to meet men, but to meet death. A good, honorable death.
Oh. Well, that's a good conversation starter.
Quicker you lead me to that, the better.
Yeah. Why, though?
I wish not to pry, but why do you long for death?
It does seem a little bit odd.
For only death can cleanse me of shame.
Did he commit some kind of, I don't know, probably not crime, but something that besmirched his honor?
You must have heard what they call me. Arnulf the Patricide. A moniker I earned. Oh, I did.
Okay, I mean, as I was saying, I am probably going to refer to him as Patricide just because, for whatever reason, that tends to be what I refer to him as in multiplayer Gwent, but yeah, don't really know the backstory behind it, but you can infer.
To die by one's child's hand. A terrible fate. And it shall be mine as well if I lose this war.
That's true. Meve can kind of relate, in a way.
But did you earn it, this fate?
I'd like to believe that we didn't.
What? Not always have I been just with Willem. I dismissed him, neglected him, but...
Neglected?
Yeah, I'm guessing there was a more significant reason why Arnholf chose to kill his father?
Listen, lass. My dad, he beat me till my skin turned blue and I chucked red bile. He'd drink and beat. My brother, Ove, Da clobbered him to death. My ma, she took her own life.
Oh! Yeah, that's pretty dark.
Never met this son of yours. But I know you's a bit now, and I can say this. No kin of yours needs slaying.
Alright, some, interesting perspective from him, I suppose. What about his tattoo? What, this on his shoulder? It actually kind of reminds me of, doesn't Doesn't Isabel have some... I don't know if it's technically a tattoo, but it looks sort of like that same pattern on her forearm I thought I saw on one occasion. For her, it almost looked like she was a zombie or something like that. It didn't look natural. It didn't really look like a tattoo. It looked like more so stitches in her case, but I don't know.
I can't help but wonder, what does it signify? The tattoo on your head?
Oh, on his head. That. Yeah, I guess that also is a question.
Ain't the tattoo? Carve these runes with a knife.
Oh, well, it's not a tattoo.
The method makes little difference. What do they mean?
Aim here. Message for enemy archers.
Oh, this art elf guy, he's a character. He's a character.
Alas, don't seem they can read it. At least not from a distance. And when they get close, it's already too late for them.
Well, in that case, it's going to take a very good shot with a very keen eye to know and to see.
So long, Arnulf.
Alright. See, that is odd. I mean, we could talk to him, but for some reason there wasn't any marker over our tent saying that that was the case, so probably, if not for us making a point of doing this, could have very easily missed him here, but good to catch up and see what his deal is. I am intrigued. I mean, the fact that he's seeking out death, I mean, I don't know how seriously to take that, but that is perhaps a concern, because, as I was saying, we would very much like to have a strong card, like him and Dogger perhaps even more so, in our deck, and if he dies, presumably we lose his card, and that's probably not something that we would like to have happen to us. So, let's take a look here at our map. I think I would like to at least see this area here where I assume is where those skeletons were supposed to be coming from, because it looks like there are boats here, and those kind of look like Viking longships. But we did, of course, already have a battle with the skeletons in which we recruited them, but Camp of the Disgraced. Okay. So does that mean... That was a lot. That was a lot. Does that mean this is basically just loot and not much else happening here anymore? Despite it being kind of a large area? Huh. I mean, those are their ships. I feel like this would be a place for a hidden chest. Hold on. I feel like this would definitely be a place for a hidden chest somewhere. No? Really? I mean, I know we have ones for our... We have at least a treasure map or two. So there's a chance there's treasure map one that maybe we just haven't acquired the treasure map for, so perhaps we'll be coming back here on a later occasion. But this feels like a significant enough place that doesn't have an actual encounter in it, because the encounter with the Skellige troops is just outside of it, so it felt like a good place to hide one of those chests, but I don't know. Maybe later we'll be heading back. Otherwise, we could continue down south. Speaking of, I thought there was a... One of our treasure chests is in an area where there seemed to be some kind of ruins, and I thought I remembered there's like one tree in the middle. And although we don't see any trees on the map here, this is obviously what appeared to be a big set of ruins, so that was one place we theorized that map might be trying to send us toward. Otherwise, we up north have this village here where, I mean, usually there's at least some kind of encounter in most of the villages. Granted, it does kind of seem as though we have perhaps made enemies with every villager in Ongren after we spoke ill of Gernakora, so not necessarily sure it's going to be a good thing heading in this direction, but maybe that's worth giving a shot. That, I can already see an Nilfgaardian flag, so I think we know what to expect there. And we're getting enough resources now that gold might be the bottleneck at the moment, but we might be able to afford some stuff, upgrades-wise. Or anything... That's... Oh. I did not expect us to be able to go back there. Hold on. Is that an actual... Wait, what? What? Is this cut all the way through? We're going to talk about places where you could absolutely hide something. Weird. Very weird. Anyways, I suspect there's going to be some kind of encounter here, and perhaps one where the villagers are going to get mad at us, but I don't see anything at the moment. Proceed with caution. Okay, now we see question marks.
Beware. The bloody mistress despises those who kill her servants.
Oh. Yeah, so... I've played enough Gwent multiplayer to know who the Bloody Mistress is referring to.
Ugh, we're only winter here. Swamp would freeze over. Kill the skeeters dead.
Oh, I'm sure there would be countless mosquitoes in this area, that is true.
Milady, you've a tick behind your ear.
Oh no.
Looks he's about to burst.
Oh, gross.
Milady, you've a tick.
No, I don't want to hear that again. That's gross. Okay. Anything else behind here? No. Okay, what about these people with the question marks? And also we should grab the recruits while we're at it, I suppose. Okay, what is the deal with you two? Let's see. Milady, a traveling merchant has stopped in our camp. He has invited you to view his wares. Do you reply? And go... 1,500 gold for 1,500 wood. And in general, it seems like gold is harder to come by in this area, as we were kind of just saying. So I don't really think that's a good exchange rate. Otherwise, sell 750 wood in order to get just 200 gold, so that kind of just demonstrates that. I think we keep on moving for now, and I'm assuming, yeah, we can come back there on a later occasion. We have several of these types of encounters that we've started to stockpile here. If we do find ourselves in desperate need of some kind of resource. I think this was maybe one of them? I don't even remember. That might have been... This definitely was. I don't remember what this was, to tell you the truth. We were just over there, not long ago. But that was the area where the people got very mad at us, so... That makes me a little unsure. Obviously, we intend to head back to this battle at some point. So maybe... You know, when we do that, we'll make a point of checking out what the deal is in that other question mark spot. What about you? My queen. A local peasant by name of Gazimir has requested an audience. He says he's found a curious object in the elven ruins. Claims it emits a magical aura of some sort. That's a little bit ominous. I cannot vouch for the truth in his words, but the man himself seems soaked in an aura. Oh. Uh-oh. Your Grace, do we wish to buy the so-called artifact? I mean, if it's a card fragment, we kind of need to. Or we can either pay 250 gold for it, say we have no interest, or forcibly take it from him and lower our troops' morale. It feels like, for whatever reason, in Ongren in particular, there are way fewer shrines than in previous areas. At this rate, in other spots, we would have run into... certainly at least 2 shrines, if not more. But I think we've only found 1 thus far. I mean, maybe we found 2 and we've already used 1, but for the most part, when we run into the shrines, we're saving them. So, I'm pretty sure there's only 1 right now. We're on neutral morale. So I am, for that reason, more hesitant than I would usually be to go that route, even if it means saving 250 gold, which would be kind of nice. That's kind of... expensive, but I mean, I think we need to do one of these things. I mean, long term, this would be better. You know, if we complete an encounter on low morale, we can just sort of gut our way through it. Then we get the reset of our morale, at least back to neutral, and then that's much cheaper in that case. We can just sort of bite the bullet. Whereas this one, obviously, we keep the morale for now. But, at 250 gold might be the difference between being able to afford upgrades and not being able to afford upgrades. I doubt this has other ramifications story-wise to be mean to the local residents. I mean, certainly the stuff with the Gurnakora worshipy people, that does. But I think this would be minor enough that it might not. Maybe we can get away with it then. Okay, it's 2 out of 3 spots for this. And I didn't see anything that said, you know, the game is going to take note of this and it's going to affect the future, which is usually what happens for major things. Major decisions, so I think we should be okay there. This is a concern, though. This is legitimately a concern, given how we've had some trouble with some encounters there is certainly a possibility that being on low morale might make our next encounter just that much harder and get it out of the range of feasibility. Obviously, these are Nilfgaardians. Actually, it's a puzzle. I feel like I was saying this recently, but most of the time when we run into Nilfgaardians, it's a battle, not a puzzle. I do kind of prefer puzzles in most cases because that means we don't need to use our deck, and our deck is kind of weak. We did, of course, just recently make an upgrade to our deck, so we would kind of like to test it out, I suppose. And doing puzzles does also, I believe, not reset our morale. So, I mean, we're here, so we'll probably do it anyway, but let's see, what is the deal here? Some kind of Nilfgaardian leader who's drinking? Okay. What are they up to? Fortress in the Swamp. Nilfgaardian soldiers quickly realize that Ongren is nothing short of a hellscape. That's why they did whatever possible to avoid being stationed there. As a result, the Empire's swamp outposts were largely staffed by outcasts, fresh recruits, and those at the mercy of the Nilfgaardian military tribunal. Destroy all enemy units. Hint, Meve is prepared to deliver the final blows. Okay, so is that going to mean leader ability is our way to finish the job, or are we going to have a Meve card directly in hand? It's a puzzle. Special rules, course, custom deck. Is it only one round, or is it multiple rounds? Because it doesn't say it's just one round here. Well, let's see. What is the deal here? Okay. So, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if we destroy everyone, then the puzzle should immediately finish. So, destroy everyone. Meve is prepared to do the finishing blow. Damage a unit by 1, then trigger all allies' loyal abilities. Increase the damage dealt by 1 for each unit destroyed by this. Oh, wait, what? Increase the damage. Have we seen this before? I don't know if we've ever seen this leader ability. Increase the damage dealt by 1 for each unit destroyed by this ability. How does it track that? Is that like if on turn 1 we destroy something, then when we get our ability back off cooldown, then it goes up to 2? Over the course of the match? I don't know. These guys have... Wait, hold on. Damage a unit by the number of cards in this row, including self. Okay. Oh, I thought they had loyal abilities to deal damage to the closest unit, though. Maybe that's only the upgraded version? Destroy 2 cards. Wait, what? I thought we had seen this guy before. Seal Restraint. Destroy 2 cards to the right. If they were units, boost self by the combined power. If either was an artifact, boost self by the current power instead. I have no idea how this guy fits into the picture. This is an artifact, so that might be what we're looking to do here. Mark an ally. When it is destroyed, move it to hand instead of graveyard. Then destroys... Okay. So, it's going to be play Arbalest to deal damage, mark the Arbalest with the Mantlet, with both Mantlets, destroy both Arbalests with the Forager to get them back to her hand, use the Arbalest again, and then leader ability. Okay, what is their thing, though? They are not going to take any more turns. They've already passed. Spawn a recruit in the same position. What? What? How do we... Do we have to destroy them all simultaneously? How else do we get rid of them? How else do we get rid of them if they always come back whenever we destroy them? What's your deal? Transform a random recruit into an inexperienced general. Does that mean we have to destroy... Yeah, I think we might have to destroy you first to transform recruits into inexperienced generals, which I don't know what those do. But I assume that is basically our only way of permanently removing one of their cards. Well, besides you. Oh yeah, you are an you are an experienced general. So yeah, destroy an inexperienced general, turns someone else into an inexperienced general, and that's the domino effect we're looking for. Okay. So, we're gonna obviously need to row stack these. I think we actually... It's a Zeal order, it's not a deployability. We could play you first, and that's just going to make every subsequent Lyria and Arbalest that we play in that row a little bit stronger. So I think that is actually the play. You are a deploy ability, which means we are going to have to wait to use you until we actually have Arbalists on the board. Okay, so I think it is you first.
One man's battlefield is another man's ripe patch for harvest.
Okay, so then it's this.
Lyria!
Don't do this yet. It's this. And they always move to this row, apparently. I thought these... Didn't we hear originally that these only had a range of 2 rows or something? And in which case, that's kind of a hint that, hey, this is the only card you should be going after, but I don't know. Okay. If we go here...
Give me a target.
And we can get the death blow. Does that increase our damage to 2? Going forward? Yes, it does. Okay, so that is the way I theorized that would work. Okay, so I think this is pretty straightforward. So now we can destroy one of them every turn. The key is just to get them back into our hand using this Forager. That is definitely faster than cooldown 3. Also, we don't really need it right now anymore anyway, or at least not at the moment. It's not really sure what the point of it is at this stage. Yeah, I think we have just enough Arbalists here that we no longer need this at all. It's like we could hit you for the sake of hitting you, but... Huzzah. Because we can. Alright, so then it's this. Overkill damage. You come out. Now this is where we need to start marking stuff. Just make sure we got the fine print here. Mark an ally. When it's destroyed, move it to your hand instead of graveyard. Destroy self. Yeah. So it shouldn't matter where we play you. Wait, what? Why? Oh, enter. Right. So I know technically, I guess we can fit you in this row, right? Yeah, and that does mean more. Well, this is going to get destroyed anyway, eventually. So, doesn't really matter. It might need to be the ones directly next to the Forager, because it just says destroy 2 cards to the right. I don't know if that means basically it has to be these 2, but just to play it safe, we'll go that route. And I guess we can do this, because we can. Then you do this. You do this. Yep. We did not have the choice of which ones we were going to target there. It just went for the ones that were right next to this guy, so made a point of making those the ones that got the mark. So then we just go... Huzzah. And last one, we go Hazoo, and that should be all we need to do to get the win. Alright, as I said, I think ultimately pretty straightforward. Once you realize that you just needed to have more Arbalists in your hand, and the Forager was the way to make that happen. Alright, no major lootage here in terms of cards or anything like that. I guess there's, that notice board, which might give us some additional info. Sometimes we'll pick up notes, give us extra info. Or treasure maps. Is that where we are right now? Like right outside this encampment? It might be, honestly. It might be. That might be worth double checking real quick. Okay, more stuff here. What is this? Wait. It's a letter from Dahi, okay, Grand Chancellor, to Colonel Leg Triffiern. I don't think we've heard that name before. Colonel, I entrust to you a mission requiring the utmost discretion. Count Caldwell's usefulness to us is nearing its end. Oh, look at this. The Nilfgaardians don't want Caldwell anymore, or at least not much longer. Well... Well, dare I say, I'm pleased to hear that. So, let's see. It's nearing its end. He must soon be removed, but in such a way as to avoid causing fear among our other allies in the north. Okay. Interesting. Given the Count's well-known passion for wine and spirits, poison should prove most effective. We shall put the plan into action once Queen Meve is no longer an issue. It shouldn't be long now. Await my signal. Well, that's the part that we might have a say in. Okay, let's also take a quick peek over here. This should just give us knowledge of a few more encounters. Hey, I mean, I was just saying we could really use a shrine. So to find an extra one, normally one additional shrine, not a huge deal, but we are on low morale right now, and we are at a severe shrine shortage. And this might be everything before we head over to the main quest there. So yeah, I suspect that we might have one of our treasure chests pointing us over here, and probably suspected, given how significant this place looks, that there was going to be some kind of encounter there. Likewise with that village area, and I guess this would be sort of the last thing before that area there. We already knew about that stuff. But yeah, we theorized that that treasure chest, that treasure map, might be pointing us just outside here, somewhere. Let's see. I don't remember exactly where it was pointing. Yeah, I mean, right there. I'm pretty sure that's it. Pretty sure that's the one we just got the chest for. So, I don't know, is that the closest map to chest we've ever seen before? Hey, it's whoa. Discovered a car that can be used in Gwent multiplayer. So, here's the thing. I know I was talking earlier about when we did run into Gimpy Gerwin, how I would have expected for there to be a little more to that interaction. I mean, we kind of ran away because it seemed like he was going to get mad at us. But it does... I mean, I knew he was a Thronebreaker card, so I knew that theoretically the way to get the premium version of him in multiplayer was going to be through doing some stuff in Thronebreaker. But just also the fact that there's a 40 power Gimpy Gerwin suggests that at some point in Thronebreaker, there theoretically was a 40 power Gimpy Gerwin. I don't know if we were going to fight him, and maybe after successfully defeating him, he would join our group, or, you know, some other way in which he could join our group. Because, usually when we see a premium card like this, it is a card that we can add to our deck in Thronebreaker at some point in time. I guess, what, Keltullus might be the one exception to that I can think of, at least off the top of my head. But, yeah, it just seems so odd to me that it ended so abruptly. I mean, yes, again, we kind of ran away from him, but that was because he was basically threatening us. So that felt like the logical thing to do, but still does make me wonder if everything that we have to do with Gimpy Gerwin is now well and truly done and we just missed out on an opportunity there, or if he might pop up on a later occasion and we still could have an opportunity to get him to join our ranks, even if he is perhaps a little bit crazy. But hey, I mean, if he's a 40 power card, then we might be willing to, you know, maybe put our morals aside a little bit and just get some stronger stuff in our deck. We are still on low morale. We may choose to use one of those shrines now that we have one more, but may just try to power through some kind of battle somewhere so we can get back on neutral morale and save one of those shrines, because, I mean, as we were saying, there are, for whatever reason, almost none in this area. But, yeah, I don't know. In that case, we have a couple of points of interest here. And the fact that this gave us a point of interest in this town proactively like this from the notice board, to me, implies that there is something else here that is a more significant encounter, not just a, hey, there's a tradesperson in this area, which is what we saw him in this little place. Also, I'm not even sure we can get there without going through this point of interest first anyway. So, also, this I guess, is maybe perhaps a better sort of one-off place to visit. There's also a pathway down there that we don't know anything about, just kind of a dead end. I am kind of suspicious of that, and this pathway here where there's nothing leading up to that point of interest, so maybe we double back a little bit and just see what, if anything, is over there, because I don't really think we've checked that out at all. We do still have one more treasure chest. That's not lootable? That's not lootable. One more treasure chest that we've not found. One that we have a treasure map for, that is. The one that, again, sort of had those ruins that looked like they were of the elven variety and had, I thought, one tree in the middle of it. So I don't know what the deal is there. Okay, this is just a little bit of resources. I mean, sure, I guess. That's fine, I suppose. Gotta check anytime you see those little areas there where it seems like you might be able to explore a little bit further than you would otherwise have assumed. Okay, so now we are approaching that area with the Elven Ruins. Did we know we could go that far south? No, this looks like the edge of the map. And it is, by and large, the edge of the map. Okay, what is... Whoa. What do we have here? Blood Carn. Doesn't sound very inviting. I mean, we are, I think, expecting to... I mean, let's be blunt here. We're expecting to run into Gur at some point. Like, that's... Let's just tell it like it is. That is going to happen at some point. Is this that place? I don't know. Maybe. Let's see what this is. Your Majesty, a wealth of gold and coin sits beneath these ruins. We can try to delve into it, but this will require time and preparation of special equipment. What are your orders? We can sacrifice 250 wood for just 40 gold. No time or patience. Or we can have Gabor lead the effort. In all things excavating, he has no rival. That gives us a discount on the wood cost and an improvement. Double the gold cost. I mean, at first I saw this and I thought, you know, this feels like, once again, it's very similar to the other encounters we've seen where the exchange rate, expending one resource to gain the other, it just feels like you're spending way more than you're receiving. Like, obviously, in general, I think we've established gold is more valuable. One gold is more valuable than one wood, but it's not 4+ times more valuable in all likelihood, so that does still feel like this is sort of a, in case of emergency, you absolutely need gold, this is a way to get it, but otherwise it's a bad deal. This, however, that might be worth considering. I mean, it is, of course, sort of a little bonus for still having Gabor with us, so maybe we should take the hint and go for it. Oh, definitely. Definitely, because that was not just gold. That was a treasure chest as well. I'm glad we did that. Oh. It's a Gwent multiplayer board, or I don't know if I've ever seen anyone use this before. And I also have no idea what this is technically supposed to be a reference to. Again, suspicions of Gurnakora. I do wonder. I mean, at first I thought this was going to be some kind of elven ruins, and therefore we were going to see something Scoia'tael-like in this area, although we really haven't seen much in the way of Scoia'tael, although, you know, one-off encounter of the Scoia'tael variety, perhaps. Kind of like what we saw with Skellige over here. But as we drew closer, I feel like this, the way in which it looks here is misleading. It looks a lot darker and more sinister when we're actually approaching it, and that makes me get much stronger Gurnakora vibes, so I am very suspicious. Because I know it's going to happen at some point. I just don't know exactly when or where. When it does happen, I'm guessing it's going to be a pretty big deal. But I do think this is probably a good place for us to stop here. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll catch you next time.